Shri Ram, Jai Hindu Rashtra. My dear friends and like-minded people, dear Kosanatanis, in this short episode I will narrate the story how I had an argument with one Christian believer online. I thought that you would find it amusing and probably entertaining. See, in one of the forums, there is one South Indian Christian lady who she narrated the story that she was married to a Hindu. They were childless for many years. They tried, they could not do anything about it, and even the medical science proved to be helpless. But then, although she was never a practicing Christian, somebody suggested that you should selflessly pray and your prayers will be answered. And ultimately she told me that, that her prayer and her returned kind of faith in Jesus and all that created a miracle, and she got pregnant, and now they have kids. And her Hindu husband was so impressed that even he converted, and this entire family are now, the family of Christians. And she ends it as like, Jesus never fails and stuff like that. You get to hear it time and again. Christians love repeating this like their mantra: Jesus never fails, and things like that. So my reply was very simple. So I said, see, yours is a story of one person's life, or the life of one family at the most, few people, that's it. 3, 4, 5 people at the most. So now let me narrate a story which is historically true, which is out in the open, which comes out of the generally available statistical information. Let us talk about 20th century, probably the most tragic in the human history. I'll start with 1916, genocide of Armenians by the Turks. 2 million people butchered. Armenians were Christians? All right, 2 millions there. Then, First World War, official number of deaths is 20 million. Okay, the main war theater is Europe. So of course, elsewhere people died also. But even those who died elsewhere, many of them were Christian deaths. And in Europe, easily at least 15 million out of that died. All right, and in 1916, 1918, most of the people were believers. Now, thankfully, Europe is predominantly atheist. Nobody gives a damn about religion. But more than 1 century ago, people were churchgoers. They were actually believers. So easily you add those 15 million tragic deaths to the 2 million of murdered Armenians. Then you add Russian Revolution, probably the bloodiest revolution in history. The actual number of deaths is not precisely known. All right, you add a few million there. Then you add artificially created famine in Russia by Bolsheviks. Again, few million people were starved to death. So most of them were Christian believers. Yes, some atheism started, kind of creeping in, but overwhelming majority were Christians. You keep adding, that 15 to then few millions there, few millions here. Then, sorry, I forgot to mention about the Spanish flu. 21 million deaths official. So again, mostly Europe and US. So out of 21, and again 10 million or 15 million deaths are of the Christian believers. Keep counting, please. Then civil war in Russia, again exact number of deaths is not known, but again it runs in huge figures. Then, of course, Second World War. The main operation theater, the main war theater is again Europe. Of course, by that time in Soviet Union, atheism was prevailing ideology, but again, it's 50-50 story. Okay, 50 million deaths total. Out of them, okay, you can count out the Jews, 6 million murdered Jews. You can say that they did not kind of believe in the right kind of God, or they did not believe in your God rightly. Okay, count out atheists, count out Jews. You are easily left with some, at least, and of course you count out Japanese, Chinese, you're still left easily with at least 15 million killed Christians. You keep adding. So in the span of time from 1916 to 1945, and between 50 and 70 million, at least 50 to 70 million tragic Christian deaths. Now, let us think logically. When a Christian believer is facing a serious threat of death, whom will he pray to? Ahura Mazda? Odin? Vishnu? Any other suggestion? Osiris? Of course he will pray to his supposedly never failing, very compassionate and very loving Christian God, Jesus. So 70 million times, at least 50 to 70 million times in the span of less than 30 years, the guy failed miserably to answer the most dedicated prayers by his believers. Tell me again that your Jesus never fails. So your story, I concluded writing it to that lady in the forum, your story is the story of one person, or at the most one family. My story, statistically correct, historically accurate, is the story of at least 50 to 70 million tragic deaths. This is the number of desperate fails by your Jesus. So, a little bit of statistical, historical information for you. I think sharing some of my passionate arguments with Muslim believers and with Christian believers may be useful to you, because we all get to hear very similar, very repetitive things by followers of the Abrahamic cults, and these claims and their argumentation, they are so funny, childish, so inconsistent. But we should be accurate with figures, and we shall not leave those false claims and false beliefs unattended. We shall argumentatively reply. Thank you very much. Jai Shri Ram, Jai Hindu Rashtra.